The day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Welcome to the Rated G for Gamers podcast, episode 357. Before we start the show, we want to thank all of our wonderful fans who have supported us. And if you want to show support for the Rated G Network, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/Rated G for Gamers. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Rated G for Gamers. And finally, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. We appreciate all the love. I'm your host, Dave Rotino, and this is my co-host, Dan, the podcaster formerly known as Classic Robinson.
What's going on, man?
I have a little quick thing. I don't know if you know, but I threw out a poll on Twitter, just kind of a rando poll about Metroid, because I wanted to see if people love the 3D, the 2D, or if they love both in the Metroid series. What's their favorite style?
That's not a fair poll. It should have been one or the other. Should have been one or the other, not both. That's cheating. Because I would just pick both.
Well, some people like both. Like, if you like both, what do you pick?
No.
If you like both, what do you pick?
Then you got to stay out of the argument.
Well, they're not going to do that. They're going to vote. They're going to vote. And they're going to vote for one or the other.
Well, if that's the case, then every time we pose the most important question we ask guests, do you like Super Mario Bros. 3 or Super Mario Bros. World better? They're going to say both. They're going to say both. That's the same argument.
No, you got to make it. You got to make a decision. And you have to defend why. You have to defend why. Someone could say I like them both equally, and here's why. And that would be valid. They can't. They could say that. No one's done that. Everyone's taken a side.
Wait. No one's done that on camera, but behind the scenes, we both said, no, that's cheating. You got to pick one. No, you got to pick one.
It makes it more exciting if you go to the mat for it. But I don't know if I could pick. There's benefits to both. Well, anyway,
I can pick right now. I can tell you right now.
Yeah. You have a very hard line stance.
2D.
Yeah, you like the 2D.
Feet the fire,
right?
Feet the fire. Desert Island. You can only have the 3D Metroid games or the 2D Metroid games.
I would probably go with the 2D, but the answers to the I would probably go with the 2D ones. I think they have a little bit more replayability. It's just a little bit something to them. I don't know, but
I think Metroid Other M just ruined it for people.
Well, I thought 2D was going to win across the board, and Metroid Other M isn't great. I mean, there wasn't a lot of people who voted, but the people that did vote, they're like, I like them both. People weren't necessarily taking a hardline stance one way or the other. They were saying, yeah, they both have their merits, which was interesting because I thought that 2D would blow it out of the water because a lot of people have strong opinions about 2D Metroid. They're like, yes, 2D Metroid is the only way.
Honestly, I thought 3D would win. I thought just because, I thought 3D would be like the big thing that people say. No, I want a 3D, first person shooter Metroid game essentially.
You think that, and I think the first-person elements they did do in the first Prime were great, like in the heads-up visor thing, because they were going to make it third-person, and Miyamoto said some cryptic shit, and basically he was saying, like, put her inside the helmet, right? That was the thing that he said, and they interpreted his cryptic message correctly, and it turned out to be great, because you get the little heads-up visor, and you feel like you're Samus, but You did lose a lot because you lost the space jump and you lost all the weird like acrobatics and the jumping from walls to wall and all that. They just weren't able to do that at that time. So they had to strip out a bunch of stuff and they gave you this like double jump thing with like thrusters, which admittedly was cool, but you did lose a lot of the cool abilities that you would associate with like a Metroid game. So I mean, I get that.
I thought it was a missed opportunity not to have a Metroid game on the Wii U, right? Because you can have the on the gamepad.
Technically, on the Wii U specifically, yeah. Because technically, they ported the trilogy over to the Wii, so like all of them got some updates that way. But yeah, there was no Wii U one.
Which is playable on the Wii U, but you don't.
It is. You don't get the gamepad stuff.
In the like it would be cool. I mean, the one thing I would like to use the gamepad for.
That's the thing everybody
right?
hates, though. Everyone hates using the
I know.
gamepad.
Well, I mean, listen, you have the option, right? Give them the option. No. I think the issue with the Wii U was you didn't have the option. Like, I mean, look at Star Fox, right? There's no option not to use the gamepad.
Yeah, well, nobody. Well, I mean, you wouldn't need the option if it was the cool thing to do. If it was like yes, I want to. This is what I want to do. So it's obviously not for everybody.
I think in retrospect, right? Like the system they've moved on. Like, you know, we have the Switch or whatever, and if the Wii U is a little bit more popular, I think people would look back on it a little bit more fondly. It was like, oh, this is awesome that you can have the option to switch to the gamepad, and you have like the visor view for all these different games. Oh, you can switch out of it. You know, like I switch into it sometimes, and you switch out of it. You have the option to do that.
The early Switch games did utilize the screen a little bit more. The Mario Party game, like 1-2 Switch was like a whole thing. You didn't even need the damn screen for that, but like they were doing some stuff with it, and then they went to more traditional style gameplay for all their stuff. They didn't get super wacky with it. Nobody does the motion controls, even though they're there in Mario. Like, you just do the regular controller controls. You know, nobody's swinging a cap like this because it's not the best thing in the world.
Well, all right. Well, I'm surprised at that. I'm surprised people didn't pick the 3D.
Oh yeah.
I will say so. I finally saw the Mario movie. I saw it twice. By the way.
There it is. Well,
I went to the movies to see it, and then I went to the barber shop the other day, and my barber, because like all barber shops had it bootlegged on the TV.
Oh yeah, of course. Got that $5 DVD copy.
and I watched it again. I was kind of mad. I could have saw The Evil Dead in the movie theater and then watched the bootleg Mario at the barbershop.
No, you don't. You don't watch bootleg Mario at the barbershop.
Yes, I could have watched bootleg Mario.
No,
it was great quality.
Second time. Okay, well,
it was great quality, by the way. I will say this: I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
As a movie itself, I thought it was not great.
Yep.
But if you liked Mario, like it was great. Right?
Yeah.
Like it's weird. It's kind of weird to say. Like as a movie, not so much. They really. I didn't like the way Mario met, Princess Peach, and I didn't like the explanation of why is she like a human and she ruled over toads. I did like the fact of why Mario doesn't sound more Italian. Right? Like at the beginning, they sort of, he doesn't sound more Italian. And I like in the beginning, he does have the cap, the cape, not the cap, the cape.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So we get some Super Mario World references in that.
Oh yeah, I mean the fan service is like through the roof.
And his father, is the original like Mario the Carpenter from Donkey Kong, right? So I kind of thought that was interesting. And then they had the from Wrecking Crew, they had that guy in there,
Spike.
that character.
Yeah. And that was his rival too, right? It was like the rival plumber. Yeah,
that was his ex boss.
Yep. And then
all in the beginning of the movie.
Do you know the guy or the person that was playing the Jumpman arcade game was Charles Martinet?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because he sounded just like him when he said it. So
like again, how would he be in the movie? Is that, there's the nod.
I enjoyed the movie because I'm a Mario fan. So it's like, oh my God, Mario.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would stand the test of time, right? 10 years from now, I don't know if people are going to look and say this was like the greatest thing ever. I think, like Star Wars, like the prequels, when they came out, people were like, oh, this was, it's more Star Wars. It was.
Yeah.
I got more Star Wars and I get more, and then 10 years later, it was like, it wasn't the greatest. I don't think it'll be to that level, prequel level, but I don't think it was a great.
Well, I think people. People were excited when they saw them. They were like, "What is this trash?" Yeah, and continued.
No. I saw a lot of. I watched a lot of old videos, like especially Electric Playground, like before the movie came out.
Well, that's a different story.
After the movie came out, a lot of interviews. I watched a lot of interviews just like of the time, like, you know, how people received it.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, it was great! It was
Really?
great," because they
Oh,
wanted
okay.
because they wanted it to be great.
Well,
It was more
yeah.
Star
Yeah,
Wars,
yeah, for
It
sure.
was more Star Wars, right?
For sure. Yeah, everyone's
were
got the fog, and they're like, "No, it was
Yeah,
it was
it wa-
good. It was good." You get high in
It
the
was
voice, it's like, no,
It was
you're just trying to
nostalgic
cope.
for
You're
it
trying
was
to cope.
nostalgic for the original, you know,
Yep.
Star Wars trilogy,
Yep,
right?
yep.
So, but then 10 years later, it's just like, yeah, looking back, it was bad. Those were
I
bad,
think
right?
I think people are going to look back and have a great time with it. I think they were good with the source material and the references and all that, and animation's good. You know, the plot is whatever, but it's a fun, colorful movie. All right,
I
you
think it'll
enjoyed
be
it.
a
I
little
enjoyed it.
I think it'll be. I mean, they're obviously going to do a second one, right? They're
Yeah,
gonna do a second one.
yeah.
I think if they hit that movie out of the park, right? Because now you don't have to do an origin story at
Yep.
all.
Yep.
I think people will sort of forget. Like, if this movie stands alone, if this is it, 10 years from now, I think people
They're going to
will be
do a
like,
sequel.
"Eh, this movie was, you know, hit or miss. But I think if they do a sequel and that sequel hits, like plot wise, it's really good. I think people will look a little bit more fondly on the first one.
They're gonna
group them together.
They're gonna definitely do a sequel. Because they teased it with a couple of
Yeah, they
plot
did.
threads.
They
So
did.
there's at least 2, if not 3, plot threads they could go down. And it crushed it in the box office. It had the best opening weekend.
This is $1 billion
for
already.
for an animated movie. Yeah, it's insane.
Listen. It
It's
crushed the
insane.
box office and
Yeah.
it crushed the bootleg office too.
Yeah.
Crushed
Oh,
the
there you go.
bootleg
The
office.
bootleg. Oh, there you go. Oh,
All right.
love it.
So, all right, Dave. All right, Dave. We have an awesome show this week. Coming up, we're going to talk about Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard may be in trouble. Maybe just maybe I was wrong. And some good news for people who want to buy the PSVR 2. But before we get into any of that, let's begin the show with Twisted Metal, the TV series. The one that Dave predicted would be trash, because how could they make a good TV series with Twisted Metal? But we got our first teaser trailer that came out with Anthony Mackie, Falcon himself.
Yep.
I was intrigued.
Were you?
I was. It looked. I mean, it gave vibes of Mad Max, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what Twisted Metal is a really effed up world.
Yeah,
You know what the plot of Twisted Metal is, right?
I have no idea. What
It's
the fuck.
essentially Street Fighter with cars.
There you go.
And
Okay.
the M. Bison of this world is Calypso from the first one. He was the one who kind of orchestrated the whole entire thing, right? Sweet Tooth is obviously like the face. He's like the Ken or the Ryu of the series, because he's like everywhere with his little ice cream truck. And we get the little teaser of him in the back of the truck and all that. It's cool.
He looks like Leatherface from Chainsaw
Yeah.
Massacre,
Yeah,
except
yeah.
for he has ice
Yeah.
cream.
Yeah.
This is exactly what he is.
He's like Clint Howard, the ice cream man. I mean, but is all that coolness or whatever going to like be able to culminate in a story? Because I can guarantee you the story is going to be there's some big baddie who puts together this weird tournament with all these like crazy ex-cons and like serial killers and all that, and like they all come together and fight. Right? That's what the story has to be, unless they're going to unless it's going to be a revenge tale.
So they need to have the guy from the Transporter on here then, if that's the case.
Jason Statham.
Yeah, he needs to be on here because
Um,
wasn't he in Death Race? Right?
Yeah,
Remember
he was in Death Race.
Remember that movie?
Yeah.
All of those?
He was
all
in
those
the
Death
reboot.
Race movies?
He was in the
Yeah.
rebooted Death Race, and he's the transporter, right? He drives around a car in the transporter.
Yeah.
He was in
There you
he was in many of the Fast and Furious movies, and I think there's a character that kind of looks like him. That probably drives in like a 1960s muscle car.
Come on, I want Knight Rider. Bring back the Hoff. Bring back David Hasselhoff. I want Knight Rider.
I don't.
In this too. Come on.
There's not a lot of characters that are super old, and no offense to David Hasselhoff, he is super old.
He is kind of old.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think this would be better as an animated movie. I could probably stomach it better because it's gonna have a stupid story. I mean, the game was a stupid story. It was just a way to like do car combat.
Well, listen, Anthony Mackie, he's like, listen, I'm gonna take a chance with this, but if it falls on its head, I can just go back to Marvel and play
Well-
Falcon. I'm good.
Let's let's talk about the bigger issue. It's on Peacock.
I know. Well, I mean,
It's on Peacock. It's on NBC's network.
Well, I do subscribe to Peacock because I do watch. I know I've talked about this, in our early episodes. I don't know if I talked about it in our more recent episodes. I do watch Days of Our Lives. I'm a big soap opera fan of Days of Our Lives.
That's still going on? Or are you watching the old ones?
No. I'm not watching old ones. It's still going on since the 60s. It's been on since the 60s.
I thought most of those closed up shop because nobody was home anymore.
No, well, I mean, you talk about the zombie apocalypse. Everybody's home now.
Well, at that point, sure. I mean, I don't know. I guess drama never dies, but
no, it's a Peacock exclusive, and that was the only way they got me to subscribe for $2 a month.
Well, there you go. If you want to hook Dan, just sell them a soap opera. There you go.
So now that I'm already in, and I watch WWE too because Peacock and they have WWE in there now.
Really?
Right?
But Fox owns the rights to it. I thought.
No, they don't own. They have the exclusive rights to SmackDown. New contract negotiations, I think, at the end of this year. So that may not be true going forward. Who knows? We'll see.
Well, I mean, they got a whole new partnership with UFC and WWE. So yeah.
Well, the same company that owns UFC now owns WWE.
Right.
So
yeah.
It'll be the same negotiating team to negotiate the rights for everything. I mean, hey, we make it WWE and ESPN. Who knows? But
yeah.
My point is,
it's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
You can watch pay-per-views. They don't call them pay-per-views anymore. They call them premium live events since it's technically not on pay-per-view.
Right. I think that's a good rebranding of it.
The whole WWE network is on Peacock. So I have other things to watch on Peacock, and now I have this to watch. I'm actually looking forward
trust
to
me,
it.
I'm going to go ahead and check it out, but I don't have high hope for it being good. It'll be fun, I bet. I don't think it's going to be good.
As a movie it would suck, but because it's a TV show, I think they have time to breathe with it, right?
You can give it
to set up the drama and set up the characters and arcs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Dave, let's just get into it. As we always try to start the show, but epically fail. What have you been playing?
Let's just get into it 17 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
Although, technically, that's a lot earlier than we usually get into it, so fair enough.
100%. I think one show a year we get into it. We start the show.
Yeah. Hey, look. It's it's a tradition at this point. I haven't been playing a lot. Little peek behind the curtain. We've been doing a lot of things behind the scenes, so lots of new things are kind of coming through. We're doing a lot of cool stuff there, so haven't had a ton of time to play much, but I have been able to keep playing StarCraft 2. I made it to gold, all right, which is the third rank. So I'm moving up. I'm at the bottom tier of gold, and I'm hanging in there. Which is good. It's starting to get pretty tough for me. So, still, looking up strategies and, trying to find the best way. Terran for life. That's my, Terran's my race. So, it's the humans. So it makes it.
I was gonna say, Dave, you look great for a Terran.
Terrans are the humans. Terrans are the humans.
Okay.
And they have very, very, very high mobility. Is they're like the middle ground, right? They're not super powerful. They're not super quick, but they have a lot of mobility. So you can literally like lift your base up and move it to another part. So if you're getting attacked and there's like ground units coming in, you can just lift your command center off the ground and then they can't hit you, which I think is awesome. All right. Flying units can still hit you, but ground units can't hit you anymore. And then, if your base dries up, you can pick your base up. You can move your base over to another resource-rich area. It's very cool.
Okay.
But yeah. So how about you? What have you been playing?
So I jumped into that Street Fighter 6 demo.
PS5. I got to download it. I meant to. I watched the Donkey stream of it, and the character creator is wild.
I didn't jump into the character creator.
Oh.
I did like 1,000 expedition, just single matches with Ryu. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. I didn't even use it because they give you Ryu and they give you a new character. I didn't even bother with the new character.
You got to go with the OG classic.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a big fan of him having the thing around his like the cloak, like the like I don't know if I like that
The sash, yeah,
for
yeah.
Ryu. Yeah, the sash. I don't know if I like that. I know that was in Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
I'd rather just have him like nothing on, like just bare chested, like I'm ready
Dan,
to pound.
Dan likes that bare
I love
chested
the-
Ryu. All right, I see.
Well, I like
Listen,
the
it's
fact like
fine, do
he has
you?
the big beard. He has the beard, and he's like a little older, a little seasoned, right?
Yeah,
I don't think the sash makes him any like intimidating, or I don't think it does anything for his character, right? I think to have that rough look, it's better just like, all right, let's go, like just take, because I think in a real fight, if he's really going to fight, he's going to take it off, right? I could see like if he had it in the character select screen, and then before he fights, he just
Oh, and then he
takes
flips it off as his opening intro. That'd be kind of badass.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is
or wait. Or if you fight and you lose, after you lose, he just takes it off like, all right, I'm ready now. Let's go. Like that's how you kind of feel, right? Like if you're gonna fight.
Right.
So if you like if you lose, then I can see you taking it off, right? They should have that in the game.
Does his alternate costume not have just him with the like the gi trousers on?
It's different colors. So it's at least for the demo, it's just like different colors.
Oh,
So-
okay.
Yeah, I don't know, like in a full game, if you would like to change a character and have him take it off. But
Well-
that kind of makes sense though, right? Like
Yeah.
like if you like it would bring to the game if you lose and he's like, all right, playtime's over. I'm taking it off. Let's go.
That would be cool between round 1 and round 2. Yeah.
Or
And
just
they've
when
done
you
that.
lose. You may win round 1 and then you lose round 2 and you're like, all right, it's time to get serious.
They've definitely done that in fighting games before. They've changed where there'll be like kind of like a mid-fight thing or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I've been playing Star Wars Jedi Survivor for
Oh,
PS5.
boy. Oh boy.
Oh yeah!
Oh,
Oh,
boy.
yeah, baby! I just hit a real quick review roundup. I didn't get the open critic scores for it. I meant to do it before we were recording, but we got caught up with something else. But just real quick with the Metacritic for the PS5 Metacritic score, as of this recording, it's a 86, and for the Xbox, it's a 87. They had a lot more reviewers for the PlayStation, for the PS5 version than the Xbox version. I think it was only like 6 or 7 reviewers for the Xbox version. So
Okay.
that's probably why the Xbox version is like slightly higher by a point.
I suppose, yeah.
It's 85 positive reviews, 5 mixed reviews, 0 negative. I mean, The Guardian gave it a perfect score and I love this. I missed this when we were review roundups where you pick an outlet you've never heard of or it sounds funny. We got this covered. Never heard of this outlet.
Well-
They gave it a 60.
Well, I mean, The Guardian and We Got This covered. The Guardian, I didn't think did video game reviews. That's a UK newspaper. Like, I
Well, they
wouldn't
do.
go to them
They do.
for reviews. And it's not surprising because they gave it 100 and it's got performance issues.
So there was some tech issues and frame rate problems, which is why they gave it a 60. But I haven't experienced any of that, and I'm playing on the PS5. The only issue I have is I didn't have enough space, and I barely have any games on it. You need like 150 gigs.
Oh, it's like 300. I thought it was like 300 gigs.
I had to clear 150 gigs off my drive. Just to have this game on.
Yeah, man.
And then funny enough, while I was playing the game, I didn't realize the game wasn't done downloading. It took like another 2 hours.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It didn't. But that was okay. Because I still was playing the game. And in the middle of me playing the game, it told me to finish downloading. So
Oh, yeah.
so a big chunk of the game is already downloaded on my system.
I like that they do the like at 35%. You have enough assets to like start the game. And you may not like maybe like they prioritize single player or multiplayer. You can choose which thing you want to download first. Like I love that.
Well, here's the thing. This is when they first started it, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then later on, it's like you can start the game, and you start the game, and it's like, yep, you can't play the game, but you can see the menu screen, or you get into tutorial. And I'm like, this is not starting the game. Starting the game to me,
the tutorial you can play. Like if it's a brand new game, like yeah, I would rather something than nothing.
I rather nothing. Just let me start playing a game and not get past the first level if that's the case. Like that's what I want. That to me, starting a game is I can actually play the game.
Yeah, you can play
right?
the tutorial. I mean,
I want to play the tutorial. First of all, the tutorial is usually the first level. The tutorial is usually the first level. I mean, on here, the tutorial to teach you, because you have all your force powers. I mean, that's not a spoiler or anything. Everybody's talked about.
Right.
You start with all the powers up front. Mm-hmm. And you have some new powers that you get at sort of the end of the tutorial world, right? The tutorial mission.
Doesn't that then, like, once you're done with that, do you go on to the second mission or whatever? Like, you continue playing from there, right?
Well, again, I was playing the mission and I was looking, because you can get a little lost in the map. It's not technically a direct, like, this is where you got to go. Like, there's some hidden stuff in there that I find that it takes me right back to where I was, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. So I can go back and I can check, areas just in case I missed it. Mm-hmm. It was, it's not as linear, right? It's just like the first game. It's not as linear.
I think they said it was a lot more expansive.
Yeah.
From the first one, yeah. Which is
so
cool.
I was trying to find all the little points, the force powers and all that stuff all around. Mm-hmm. And you can change. I love the fact that you could change the color, or you could change your little robot. You could change this, like the different how he looks, the color and the face plates and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You can also change your main character. I didn't get to that part yet, but I can't wait to give him a full beard.
Oh my god!
And like a bald head, maybe.
Old ass Cal. There you go. Yeah.
I prioritize performance over graphics.
Well, that's probably part of the reason why it was a smoother time for you. But I still think even in performance mode, there's people are claiming that there's issues with it, right? Performance mode should be 60 or as close to 60 as possible and pretty smooth.
Again, I can't talk for other people. I can only talk for myself. Mm-hmm. I haven't had any issues.
Okay.
And I played at least 2.5 hours. I was up last night.
Yeah.
I was up ready to record this morning.
Sure.
And I was tired as hell because I was up at 2 in the morning. Yeah. Playing Jedi. So, because Amazon, I love the fact that you pre-order on Amazon. They said, yeah, it'll be there the day it comes out. Mm-hmm. What they don't tell you is it'll be there at 10 o'clock at night. They're going to leave it on your doorstep at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Which is ridiculous. The day is over.
Was it Amazon or was it like a laser ship drop off? Because I think at that point,
no,
last mile delivery.
I don't know who delivered it.
Yeah, I don't know if Amazon's out there at 10 o'clock. They may be. They have done it before.
I just know I ordered it on Amazon. Amazon said it'll be here the day it drops. I looked at my notifications and it said it'll be there by 10 o'clock tonight.
I mean, you got it on the day. May not have been the time you wanted, but you got it on the day. They were not wrong.
Listen, I'm rolling my eyes. If that's the case, just deliver it tomorrow morning. I mean, so I was up. And it took like an hour and a half to install it. So and then I was doing other things, and I finally sat down to play it. And I was like, oh, it's 2 a.m. I got to wake up to do the show. But I really wanted to get it in. I had no issues with it. I love it. So far, I could be nominating this to be running up to Tears of the Kingdom for Game of the Year.
I was just going to ask that. Even with all of the noted performance issues, and even the first one had them too.
That I haven't. Well, I know I had those performance issues with the first one.
Oh, you did? Again, but not the second one. Okay.
I haven't, so far, 2.5 hours in the game, I haven't seen any performance issues for me. So
right.
I'll put that out there.
So
I still don't have my TV, by the way. That's a game. That's another. That's not a gamer grief. That's just a grief in general.
Yeah.
I got it to work on my monitors. I've been playing it on my monitor.
Yeah, there you go. So I
had to lower the resolution, by the way, for people who listen to the other show. Yeah.
So I know they fixed all the issues with the first one, and now it's a I don't know, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 game. Like, they fixed all those issues. They will fix them with part 2. I just wonder if the Rocky release is gonna be like, I don't know if this is Game of the Year potential, Because
here's my thoughts.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, a lot of like the reviewers who said there were performance issues, they did when they gave them their review codes, because IGN even said it and IGN gave it a 9. They said, hey, there will be a day one patch to fix these issues. So a lot of reviewers who said they had issues, they're reviewing the game pre-patch.
Yeah, they get it a
that
couple
out
weeks
there.
ahead of time to get the review
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Now, I don't know, because I did download the patch, so I don't know when the patch actually, went live, because I got it last night.
Yeah.
I actually bought the game in last night.
Yeah.
So a lot of people who have performance issues who are playing the game, I don't know if they, got it at,
what is it?
got it at
Pre-patch and
midnight.
post-patch, yeah.
Yeah, if they playing the game that they download it at midnight, because you can, for the digital version, you can get it midnight as of yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Or Thursday night, whatever. And they're playing hours and hours of the game, and they're seeing all these frame rate issues. Who knows if the patch came in the afternoon yesterday? So when I put the game in, I downloaded the patch, and
Yeah.
I had no issues.
I want to say, based on experience, they usually coordinate them to be when the game is ready, the patch is ready. They just couldn't get it on the disc in time, ideally. But it could be that there was some holdup and the patch came out later in the day, and then you get some people who were like, "Oh, this game is terrible." Yeah. So I mean, it could be that. It could be that. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense though, right? Because people are like, how can you like sort of review the game or put a score up, and you haven't played a big chunk of the game, right? And that's probably because the patch didn't come out, and they played it at midnight, 1 a.m. They bought it digitally. Patch is not released yet,
Well.
because the patch probably got released in the afternoon or later in the day.
Right.
And they played like 5, 6, 7 hours of it, and it's like, this is kind of choppy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
but so far I'm loving the game. It is my runner-up so far to
Okay.
Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm on the fence about buying it at the moment. I'm gonna get it. Don't get me wrong, but I think I may wait because, Zelda's coming out in like a week or two, so I know Survivor is gonna fall by the wayside.
Well, so I don't know if it's gonna fall by the wayside, but I mean, I definitely, if it's only 20 hours, I can beat it before Zelda. I can beat it before Zelda.
I still gotta beat the first one. I'm playing on hard mode then.
You should lower it to easy.
I can't. I don't think you can. I'm locked in,
You'll never.
and I'm already
you'll
halfway
never-
through the game.
You'll never.
This is my Batman moment. Yes, I am fighting the equivalent of Bane, which took me 4 years to end up beating.
This was gonna happen. Dave is finally gonna beat the first one, and we're gonna have the fourth one in the series already.
Yeah. Listen. I'm having a good time. Don't get me wrong.
Dave is going to talk about, oh my God, Luke Skywalker was in the game, and we're going to be like, yeah, we know. It came out 10 years ago. By the way, that was a lie. I'm lying. Luke Skywalker.
I don't know. Dan likes to spoil shit, so.
Or am I lying? So
Yeah, Dan likes
all
to
right,
spoil shit.
let's take a break. When we come back, we get into the top gaming news of last week. And we're back. All right, Dave, let's get into the top gaming news of last week. Let's start with this whole shebang with Microsoft trying to purchase Activision Blizzard. Right?
It's a shebang.
I thought this was going to be a done deal. Doesn't matter that, like Sony opposed it, and they said it doesn't matter. Sony's opposing it for another reason. I don't think they believe it's not going to go through. I think they're just opposing it. So when they make their big acquisition, that no one's going to oppose them, because they're going to say, well, you didn't, you agreed to Microsoft, and this was a bigger deal than what we're going to do, right? You thought you're a little skeptical about it, but now I think I'm leaning.
It's huge.
I think I'm leaning towards being on your side, because apparently the CMA in the UK has blocked this deal. I'll read a couple of quotes. We've prevented Microsoft from purchasing Activision over concerns the deal would damage competition in the cloud gaming market, leading to less innovation and choice for the UK. Microsoft already accounts for an estimated 60 to 70% of global cloud gaming services and has other important strengths in cloud gaming, from owning Xbox, leading PC operating system Windows, and global cloud computing infrastructure Azure in Xbox cloud gaming. I'm paraphrasing this, the 10-year commitment to bring Call of Duty to the Switch, they believe the Switch is technically incapable of running, in a manner that resembles an experience from more powerful platforms. So they think they're not going to put Call of Duty on the Switch, on a cart on the Switch, that they would have to choose the cloud gaming way. Like Resident Evil, you could play Resident Evil 7 on the Switch and Control on the Switch through cloud services, and they think that they would have to do the same thing with Call of Duty because it's just technically not, it's incapable of being played on the Switch the way it is on other hardware.
Well, let's go over these statements here, because I agree with some of them and agree less or not at all with some other ones. The fact that they'll be the player in the game streaming market, in the cloud gaming market, right? You agree with that statement? Because I think
100%.
Yeah,
that's 100%.
Yeah, there is no doubt. They will be the AB InBev of video games. AB InBev is the company that owns 70 to 80% of all the beer distribution and all the beer companies. Any beer that you're drinking comes from AB InBev. Budweiser, right? That company is like part of that thing. They own all that stuff. Microsoft will own all of those companies. They will own every game that you play is going to be linked back to Microsoft, basically. And now they're the only game in town. Now they have zero competition, and now the service gets worse, right? They say, oh, well, we're putting all this money into all these cloud gamings. Well, now it's going to be $30 a month for your Xbox streaming stuff. And it's like, well, now it's a little less appetizing, right? Well, now we're spending all this money. We have to put out less games, right? And then, we don't have as many games in the system anymore. We're seeing it with Netflix. So I don't think they're wrong in that sense.
I mean, I just want to jump in real quick. I love the fact, like, the global cloud computing infrastructure, Azure, right? That's owned by Microsoft.
Yeah. That's their whole platform, yeah.
They partnered with Sony to use Azure. Like Sony partnered with, like, it's weird. It's weird that Sony is, like, one part of Sony, the PlayStation division, is like blocking the sale of Activision Blizzard, where the other part of Sony is partnering with Microsoft to use Azure.
Azure is, say what you want about Azure, but it's pretty solid technology. Like, everything is, like, up in the cloud. Like, everything from Microsoft Word, the Office 365 stuff and all that is all linked into, like, Azure in, like, some way. You can have your whole infrastructure running on Microsoft. So it makes sense for them to use that, right? If it's, like, the best tool for the job, for sure. It is like, kind of funny that it comes from Microsoft, though. Yeah. Now, the second part of that, about it not being, the Switch not being capable, they're obviously referring to current hardware Switch. And they're also forgetting the fact that we do have Doom Eternal, we have Wolfenstein, we have Alien Isolation, right? Now, granted, it may come out a little bit later, and it's obviously pared down a little bit, but it is the gaming experience. The other fact
I've definitely had framing issues with the Doom on the Switch.
I mean, yeah, sure, but I mean, like,
I had some technical issues with Doom.
I mean, yeah, sure, but it's completely playable and it's super fun, and the reviews are good for it. They even added some stuff, like the Alien Isolation game is actually better in some ways than the PC and Xbox and PlayStation versions, because they had time to, like, make some enhancements to it. But the other thing they're forgetting about is that Microsoft didn't specifically say this current iteration of the Switch. They may make a Call of Duty for the Switch 2, Switch Pro, whatever you want to call it. And then that kind of makes this all moot, right? Now you have a more powerful system that came out recently.
It doesn't, because their argument is the Call of Duty on the Nintendo platform won't have the same experience as the more powerful platforms, because we know even the Super Switch comes out, the PlayStation 6, the Xbox Series, XB, whatever the next, it won't be as powerful as that. Well, it won't resemble. It's not about, you're thinking about the future Switch, but think about the future Xbox and the future PlayStation. That's what they're talking about, that it won't resemble the same play experience as those consoles.
Well, it's the only thing they're talking about is, I guess, frame rate and picture quality. Obviously, it's going to be a scaled down version of it. It will be Call of Duty. You know, the Call of Duties that were on the Wii and the Wii U were still Call of Duty. They were just pared down, and some of them use motion controls. But
why isn't Control and Resident Evil 7 on the Switch, like actually on the Switch, and not just?
Well, I mean, that's what Capcom chose not to do that. I mean, you look at Wolfenstein: The New Order, or whatever. Like they put that on the system. So that's a choice if you want to do the cloud gaming version. It's easier to do in a way because you're just streaming, but there's Doom. You know, Doom is. I mean, it had some audio issues and whatever else, and there's some frame rate stuff, but it's good, and it's certainly playable, and it's got motion control in there, and you can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not going to be 1-to-1, but it's going to be Call of Duty for sure. It's going to be Call of Duty. They could definitely do it. All right. Ultimately you would take the PC version over any of them, because the PC version is always going to look the best, and then the Xbox and PlayStation versions on whatever the current hardware is, and then at the bottom of the barrel will be the Switch. But
let's take out Call of Duty for a second, because all of this happened at the beginning of last week, and the Call of Duty statement was made later in the week, not when they actually blocked it. So
sure.
let's take the Call of Duty part of it out of it, right? Because that's the Call of Duty is secondary to why they rejected. Like it's being more.
It's an asterisk to the overall.
Yeah, the overall point of why they rejected it is because of the market Microsoft.
Share. Yeah.
You know, already accounting for more than 50% of the market share of cloud gaming services.
Oh yeah. And that point I agree with 100%. They're not wrong. And I also kind of don't want this deal to go through for that exact reason. Wow. No, I've said that before. Well, you're going to have a monolith. It's going to be it's going to be too much. You'll have less competition in the space. And that's not what you want.
They actually said this deal, I mean, if this deal doesn't go through because of this could be bad for the UK, where Microsoft could restrict a lot of their services in the UK to spite the UK.
No, they're gonna lop their nose off, because they're gonna lose a lot of sales if they end up doing that. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Well, no, there was talk about that. There was talks a lot of insiders said, or not even just like to sort of counteract this, like they could restrict a lot of stuff in the UK to force public opinion, to force their officials to push the deal go through, and then they'll bring back some services.
And then they would just they're using it as a bargaining chip. They don't want to have to do that. They would lose millions in sales. If you're saying like Games Pass won't be available, or the Xbox Cloud Gaming Service won't be available, or certain things you just can't play in the UK, or you'll have separate servers, you can't play with anybody outside the UK, that'd be bad.
I've heard talks that this is like a bigger issue than just Microsoft, where like it's hard for like outside countries to come in and present their businesses in the UK because of their sort of strict guidelines and restrictions, right?
Yeah,
this. So Microsoft and Bobby Kotick, right? That's his name, the CEO of Activision Blizzard. Like
terrible CEO.
They've all said that they're going to appeal this.
Oh yeah, of course. So Bobby wants out. Bobby wants to get his bag and get out, and he's like, I don't have to be in the spotlight anymore. Whatever, I get it.
Some experts I see. I think I was watching CNBC. I forgot. I was watching something like this was bigger than just gaming. I was watching CNBC or something like that, where they said
huge business.
They said on appeal, like this still may hold up an appeal, because they usually hold up. They usually don't overturn on appeal. A lot of times they don't overturn an appeal. Like the rate of appeal, where they actually overturn it, is like maybe like 20% or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, the success rate is like 20%. So it's like not in favor of Microsoft, but they're going to appeal it.
I mean, you have to. You got to fight.
And after the announcement of this, that the UK rejected it, Activision Blizzard stock just like took a nosedive.
Of course, it was only going up because of this. They've been making less than stellar moves.
Guess what? I'm thinking about buying a lot of shares, because I think he's going to go through and it's going to go skyrocket.
If it does go through, it'll bounce back and you'll make some money for sure. It's just a matter of, well, there's the if and then there's the when. You may be holding out for another year.
That's okay.
It's not that easy. This is not that easy. This has been going on for like a year and a half in the courts, I think, at this point. It's crazy.
And the same week that the UK rejected it, the deal was approved by the Ukraine. The Ukraine's equivalent.
Approved by the Ukraine. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just weird how another smaller country sort of approved the deal while like the UK just like totally rejected it.
So I guess,
still am.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying I'm semi hopeful for this. I'm not hopeful. Let me change that because I'm not lobbying for this deal to go through, but I'm still optimistic that the deal will go through. I think they will find a way because this is all politics. Because
maybe
it was a week before that, we didn't talk about it on the show, where they said this deal was like almost done. We're gonna get all the experts, everybody was saying this deal is practically done. The UK will approve it, and then out of nowhere, it's stunning. Like everybody was stunned, everybody was shocked. They thought this was going through.
It is a little bit weird because the UK courts or the CMA or whatever, I thought was leading towards like, okay, things look pretty good, and we're pretty confident in Microsoft's claims. Putting a version out on the Switch and not dominating the market and taking games away from the PlayStation platform and all that. They're like, look, things aren't necessarily going to change. Yeah. We'll have some stuff in house, but we're going to make games for other systems. It's going to be good for business. And I thought they were on board too. It is definitely kind of interesting. I wonder who was the little the worm tongue, right, from like Lord of the Rings. I wonder who was the guy who was whispering in the ear, "This is a bad idea." Because somebody turned a couple of those judges, and they're like, we don't know if we want to approve this. That's weird.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Microsoft needs to focus. Needs to switch their focus. Right? Switch. You get it? Switch their focus. To Redfall, that's coming out. Right? And I know they're all their focus is buying Activision Blizzard, but can they not put out a physical edition of a game with false advertising on it? And I'll tell you why. Because Bethesda, yes, they've clarified we are getting physical edition of Redfall, and some Redfall copies have 60 frames per second in the box art in the back of the box. When they announced that it will only be 30 frames per second. So I think they are putting some stickers. Somebody said that there were. I think I heard somewhere like IGN that they're actually going to put like stickers on it that says this is actually going to be 30 frames instead of 60 frames, right? And we're actually going to get a disc. We're actually going to get a disc in the case, not just a digital download code. Thank God for that, because that would have sucked.
I would hope so. My copy of Doom Eternal for the PC is just a plastic shell. I'm very upset. It didn't clearly say on the outside of the box download code only. So, what am I buying? What do we end up buying here?
Well, I mean, it might as well be a digital code. I mean, look at Halo Infinite, Horizon.
Any game,
right?
Any game. Well, look at any game. Any game's going to have an update day one. I mean,
well, not an update. If you just let me finish, I'm just saying, like Halo Infinite and Horizon. The game's really not even on there. It's just assets.
Well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. There's always a download day one. You're always going to have to download something. Yeah. Yeah, it's
but I'm downloading I'm downloading the game essentially. Like I'm not downloading a patch. I'm not even downloading certain assets. The assets are on certain assets are on the disc, but I'm downloading the game. It is essentially a download code, right?
Yeah,
like that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, that's I think that's partially a disk space issue, and they don't want to print two discs. They don't want to do a disc 1, disc 2 thing. So they're like, we'll just put it online. It's fine. People can just pre-download it or whatever it is, which is annoying.
How much a disc? The whole reason why we went to disc because they were cheaper.
25 gigs on a Blu-ray. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, even if it's like a penny, right? It's a penny times 1 million copies or 10 million copies or whatever they're printing. So it adds up, It adds up. Like, that's like an extra $100,000 that they could save, right? And you just stream it from the Microsoft network, right? And it costs them nothing. All right.
How about this? Then just don't put out a physical. Just say, hey, you got to download it. That's what Hi-Fi Rush, like Super Hi-Fi Rush, like it's just you got to download it. That's it.
Well,
there's no physical for it.
I know you're like half joking, but if they did it and waited for all the patches to come out and then said, hey, here is the gold version, the physical version that has everything on it, I think I think that could be the future. You get the thing that collectors want a little bit later, and you still get to play the game now, right? You can say, hey, if you want a physical, here's the complete physical with no patches.
And it costs you nothing up front, technically, because you're in the subscription service. You're only paying $15, $20, or if the deal goes through, maybe $50 a month, right? And you play the game, so you're not making two purchases, right? Where you're buying a digital game and then you're buying a physical game,
right?
As long as they put out a physical at some point, I'm okay with it. Like, right. I mean, look, Psychonauts 2 finally got a physical.
And it's like complete, right? You get the whole game. I mean, unless they make DLC for it in the future, which I don't think they're gonna. That's the game. You're good.
I know. Well, something else that just boils my bubble is when cool stuff comes out. It really
boils your bubble.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard that. I heard that on TikTok.
You are mishmashing. It burst your bubble.
No. Boils my bubble. I heard it on TikTok. It's a TikTok thing.
That is not a TikTok thing. That is people clowning right now. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? It boils your bubble?
Listen. You start a fire and throw some bubbles and they pop. Like, I don't know.
All right.
That should be the title of the episode, Boiling Your Bubbles.
No, everyone's going to be like, what is that in reference to? And you got to listen to the episode to find out.
I saw my little cousins were doing TikTok videos, and I heard it like boils and bubbles, and it just stuck in my head.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's a TikTok. I don't know what they were watching. I don't know what they were doing. They were doing is that dance, that Fortnite dance, still a thing, or is that gone? They were doing something on TikTok.
I don't think it's been a thing for like 10 years. No one's doing the floss anymore. I mean, actually, well, that's not true. Maybe some kids are still doing it, but it's fallen by the wayside. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they were doing it 10 years ago. I don't think Fortnite was out 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, close to it. I don't know, 2016. We're getting up there. It's almost a 10 year.
7 years. 7 years.
Okay, well, there you go. It's not that far off. It's old.
Far. Yeah. But I hate when cool stuff comes out that is stuck in a region and it doesn't come out here officially, right? And you got to import it. Final Fantasy 16. I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan.
Oh, I know.
As you know. 7 and 15. I'm getting into 16 because it's action-based, but it's a PS5 exclusive. They have a DualSense controller that's sort of it's all black with patterns, Final Fantasy 16 patterns on it. And they have the panels for the PS5, the PS5 panels, which I think if you look at the bundle, right, I think this was, you talk about things that are going to happen in the future. The bundle for Final Fantasy 16 is just a regular PS5 with the game, probably a download code in it, right? That's what they're doing.
It's always a download code, yeah.
They're not going to do special editions. I don't think they're going to do like special editions anymore. I think they're just going to have swappable panels.
For the PlayStation, for sure. Yeah.
You can make your own. You can make your own special edition.
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is anyway. It's just a skin on the outside.
It is.
Why make a whole new system for it?
So they have the covers, they have the DualSense controller, and it's only in Japan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Listen, Japan gets all the cool Final Fantasy stuff.
They do.
There is a ton of stuff that never got released here. At least it's not region locked. You can get it now. You pay the import tax and maybe a little bit of a premium, but there's no hardware lockout for a piece of plastic. And the controllers just work, right? You can hook them up to an American PlayStation. It's fine. There's no issue with it. So at least we can still get them.
You know the thing that I don't know if Xbox has done this, but Sony has done this. I don't know if you realized it recently, where you update your controller. Before you had to plug the controller in, but now they just update it wirelessly.
Yeah. I
don't know if you noticed that. I don't know when that actually happened, but that's awesome because I'm always looking for the wire. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta update my controller. Where's the wire?
At least it's USB-C now, so it's a standard wire. At least because they used to be, they used to be USB Mini, not even the micro, which the micros were terrible too, but the old school ones, the PS3s, I think were Mini. Terrible. And I'm glad that Microsoft is the same way. Microsoft has the little hookup, which is USB-C too. So. Single cord for Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah.
All right. Let's shift gears and talk about the PSVR 2. I am holding out for it as of right now, and I honestly
You're waiting, is what you're saying. You're waiting.
Hold out until the holidays. I think maybe that this could be on sort of a discount or have better bundles out at the time, right? So I definitely want to get it. I'm definitely going to get it at some point. But if you are now looking to buy one, I mean, it's not like it's sold out like the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. You could buy it on PlayStation Direct, directly from PlayStation. But PSVR 2 will soon be in local retail stores soon, according to a PlayStation blog. So it being in stores is a good sign.
I didn't think it was that hard to get now, but I guess stock is a little bit low because I thought people weren't flocking to it.
Well, no. So you can get it on You can get it from PlayStation Direct. It was sold out on Amazon because they did release it on Amazon, and it was sold out on Amazon because I had it saved just if I ever want if they had. Because sometimes Amazon has sales where it's a little bit cheaper, right? $10 cheaper or something like that, something along those lines. It was sold out on Amazon when I took a look because I had saved and I looked and it says no longer available. But they said that stock will be coming to retail stores soon. I think they want to get these things in stores now. So
get them out for the holidays, I'm ready.
Summer and the holidays, yeah. So just in case scalpers try to scalp this during the holidays, it's going to be out in stores. They're going to have plenty of stock, all right? Because they're going to keep stocking them between now and the holiday season.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for hopefully a deal where maybe they lower the price a little or have a better bundle. And then
they may put a bundle with the game and then charge you $50 more. They're not going to do a price drop anytime soon.
Well, no, that's actually not what I think.
That came out this year.
Pactor. That's not what Pactor said because it's not doing great. That's why. It's not doing great right now. It's not doing great.
No, it's not. But I don't think. I mean, unless it's a drastic price drop, like $20 off isn't going to get people to come to the yard.
$20 off would get me to buy it.
People aren't necessarily not buying it because of the price. They're not buying it because they're not interested in the VR stuff, I think. But all right. I mean, a discount is a discount. I'll take it.
Well, I'm just saying. I'm reading a lot of different articles saying there could be a price drop in its future to try to get it going. And if they drop it, $50,
I mean, it could, yeah.
And they sort of take a loss on each console. I would jump in. I just hope that they have more than more games in the works for it, better games, right? I need more than just I need more than just hey, you could play Resident Evil in VR too. Like I need like a game that's like specifically for that. I like Batman. The Batman game I thought was Batman.
Horizon's your game. Horizon's your game.
Horizon is my game, but that's one game.
I know. It is a little bit lacking. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
All right, Dave. Final story of the day. Talk about things with price drop.
Yeah, right.
The Xbox Mini fridge. It's a dramatic price reduction across multiple retailers.
I'm thinking about buying one. So you're right. A price drop is enticing.
And we're talking about both versions. So the first version. You can buy it at Best Buy. It was $129. It is now $65.99. And the Xbox Mini Fridge version 2 was $80, but you can now buy it for $40 at Walmart.
Why would you not want the version 2? It's the better one, right? I don't know, but you want the version 2 unless they stripped out features, which I mean, there's not many features on it. But it's actually even cheaper. I went to a Walmart. It's $35. And you can order it online right now.
There you go.
So less than $40.
There you go.
Less than the price of a Switch game. Less than the price of a discounted Switch game. You can have a mini fridge, which you'll probably never use.
I would use it.
Honestly, I would just keep it.
I wouldn't use it as a fridge. I would put my games in there. There should be another shelf.
Oh my god! Games in. It's not. You get like 5 games in there at best. It's not meant for that. Well, you can only get like 5 sodas in there.
Well, you know what? Those are 5 games that have a new home.
Ugh. All right.
All right, Dave. You got any weekend plans?
Yeah. Going bowling with a couple of friends. You don't get to say that often, do you?
You could.
No,
If you
we're
actually
going,
went
we're going to
bowling.
Melody Lanes. Never been there, but I hear
I
it's a.
don't even know what that is. I never heard of that.
It's down in it's over near Industry City. So
Gotcha.
I'm
Okay.
excited. Some people I haven't seen in a little while, so this should be kind of cool. We're all going to be bowling horribly because no one knows how to bowl, and should be a good
I
time.
used to be a good bowler.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What was your score? What was your score?
I don't remember. I don't know scores. I just know I roll it, and most of the pins go down.
This guy. Okay. I'm going to guess you were probably like 130, 150 maybe.
I had a lot of strikes, though. I had
Okay.
a lot of strikes.
All
I used to
right.
go bowling with my step pops back in the day.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Well, what do you got going on this weekend?
Well, I still don't have my TV, so I'm going to call. I know it got delivered to the sorting facility yesterday when I would check the tracking. So I got a call. It's been like 2 weeks. So
2 weeks
they're in
since
no
it's-
rush to get.
2 weeks since it went to
it's
the
been
sorting
shipped.
facility, or it went to the sorting
2
facility
weeks.
yesterday?
It's been 2 weeks since they shipped it.
Oh, well, I mean, that's a whole nother. They're going to ship it at the lowest possible speed. They're going to strap it to a back of a turtle and go, well, we sent it out.
I know. So
They
I'm
don't
waiting
want to.
for
They don't want to
my-
spend money.
They're waiting for my TV.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I'm just gonna play some Jedi Survivor. Play some Jedi Survivor and do that.
Nice.
Oh, real quick. We had this as a story like a year or two ago.
Okay.
Not going in any details, but I know Dave was super happy when Epic Games was suing Apple.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they won.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They won. Yeah. Well, Apple has appealed, and they have won their appeal. By the way, as
That's
a side note.
That's
So
highway robbery.
So Apple has now won their appeal.
Well, that's bad. That's bad for consumers. That's all I'm going to say. It's terrible.
I disagree, but go ahead.
You want to pay a $3 premium for your Netflix subscription just because you're doing it through Apple? There is no benefit. I'm sorry, but all right.
Take my money.
Oh my God, this guy. All right, well, that is episode 357 in the books, folks. And we want to thank you guys for listening to the show, for liking, commenting, doing all the good stuff that you guys do. If you want to interact with us, and we know that you do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Rated G for Gamers. So, please listen, like, rate, review, and subscribe. And as always,
Keep gaming.